Hey guys, John Jr. here, bringing you guys another Draft League video, this time APA Reunion Week 4. It's been a long time since I've done one of these videos, but with the release of Scarlet and Violet, I wanted to capitalize on those views as much as possible, so we're back with our Week 4 game against Banded Caterpie. If you guys have missed the previous videos, go ahead and check those out right now. There should be one in the top right now, should be maybe our last one, the Manaphy video, which was one of my most viewed videos of all time, so thank you guys for that. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the match. Before we get into the actual match, I do want to go ahead and ask you guys to go ahead and leave a like down below if you have not already. And if you are not subscribed, go ahead and click that red subscribe button. Only about 10% of my watchers are subscribed, and it would mean a lot, especially because the hype for Scarlet and Violet has died down, and with that, so do the views, so does the community. And I don't want that. I want this community to thrive. I want to be the best that I can be for you guys, and you guys simply hitting that subscribe and that like button will help me do that. Getting into the match, my team is Buzzwole, Tapu Koko, Garchomp, Volcanion, ALOLAN RAICHU, and Starmie, Inquiry Brat, Mega Slowbro, Lando T, Cinderace, Scizor, Tentacruel, and Grimmsnarl. So this team we're bringing, we are a bulkier, physically bulky Rocky Helmet Buzzwole. We are a pivot Tapu Koko because you're not going to bring like an offensive Tapu Koko into Landorus, Therian. We have Garchomp, which is SD's dual stab Stealth Rock. We have Volcanion, which was here specifically to try to beat the Slowbro because he can't really be Rest Talk because I have Terrain. So we have Toxic on that. We have Steam Eruption too, which looking back definitely shouldn't have been Steam Eruption. Should have been something else, not risking that Scald Burn. But here we are. I have ALOLAN RAICHU because this looks like probably our best in-game. We have to be wary of Sucker Punch on Cinderace, which I don't know if he can fit, and Sucker Punch on Grimmsnarl, which he could definitely fit. And then Starmie, we are here specifically because I was really scared of hazards, and specifically that Tentacruel having T-Spikes. So we are boots on that Starmie. Again, you can check out the pace down below, and with that being said, let's go ahead and get in. So starting off, looking at this team, I felt like Starmie was my best lead. If he led Slowbro, I could switch into Tapu Koko. And then otherwise, Starmie had a pretty good matchup against everything. If he led Grimmsnarl, I would also probably switch into Tapu Koko, see if I could get a read on his set by any means. So we're going to go ahead and start. Let's turn the music off. We're going to go ahead and start with that there. We're going to go ahead and lead Starmie as he does lead Lando T. I'm going to fire off a Surf. I'm just going to attack what's in front of me. I'm analytic, so I get some extra damage off as we do only 18% to that Tentacruel, which this is my check for, so I'm just going to stay in and Psychic. As he does end up going Grimmsnarl now, I'm going to go Tapu Koko to scout a little bit of damage, and we're going to see, I think it's a little bit more offensive, maybe even banded based on that damage. It's been a while, so I don't particularly remember, but I'm going to U-turn there as the Grimmsnarl does decide to stay in. I go Volcanion, expecting the Spirit Break. Obviously not going to Darkest there yet on my Tapu Koko as I get the special attack drop, and here I am going to Toxic, expecting the Slowbro to come in, but in comes Tentacruel, which is a fine play as well. Probably should have read that in some fashion when ALOLAN RAICHU, that would have been zero downside, but I'm going to go to Starmie here. Obviously, this is my check to this Pokemon. I come in on this every single time, and I'm just going to Rapid Spin as he does get the knockoff, so I'm no longer heavy duty boots, which is fine because this Pokemon comes in as this thing T-Spikes every single time regardless. He goes Scizor here, and I'm just going to recover, make sure that I'm as healthy as possible to be able to beat that Pokemon, and I go into Buzzwole, which is here to check the Scizor. I do want to go ahead and mention, though, I am aware of dual Wing Beat on that Scizor, very scared of it, and I have Volcanion is more Fizz Def, I do believe. Yeah, it's a little Fizz Def to be able to come in and take two banded dual wing beats. I think banded, I don't actually remember, but in comes Tentacruel, and like I said, every single time we just go into Starmie on this Pokemon, and we're just going to Rapid Spin. We don't want the T-Spikes up because that would poison ALOLAN RAICHU. I'm going to get the Rapid Spin off. We're going to get the Speed Boost as Scizor comes in, and again, I'm going to go ahead and pivot, this time into the Volcanion, expecting dual Wing Beat as I do get that right. Our Eevee's coming to play. We take two. We have leftovers. He's going to switch out here, and I Steam Eruption, expecting Tentacruel to come in, trying to get a burn, and I do get that. I do not get that burn. I get the crit, excuse me. As I'm going to go ahead and switch out again, Starmie every single time. He really wants these T-Spikes up. I am 100% going to prevent them. In comes the Scizor again. I'm going to Rapid Spin again. I'm going to go right back into Volcanion. We live a pair of dual wing beats. Or if he U-turns them, we're fine with that as well. And then after leftovers, we have a chance to live a pair of dual wing beats. In comes a Volcanion as I get that leftovers recovery, and I go into Buzzwole. Buzzwole is my guaranteed check to this Lando T. This Pokemon is quite literally here for Lando T. A little bit of Split Def in case he is Psychic. I scout for the Psychic / Fly. I go into Starmie as we do see that come out, and I'm just going to recover here. I'm going to Surf actually. Not keeping that Pokemon healthy, which looking back on, I do kind of disagree with that play. I kind of wish I would have surfed, unless from the range I was at, that a Earthquake would have killed me. I have no idea right now. So the only way that play makes sense to me is if Earthquake killed me from, what would I have been at, 87%, which I guess is possible because I'm a Starmie. But I'm going to surf, I'm going to catch this Scizor, I'm going to get some damage off on the Scizor. I'm going to go Volcanion. Again, I live a pair of dual wing beats, but now, this is very important, this is where U-turns, and now my Volcanion is just a sack piece. It was here for the Cinderace and the Scizor, but now I do not live a Pyro Ball from abandoned Cinderace, so this Pokemon is not as useful right now. In comes Orlando T. Again, we're just going to go Buzzwole. No matter what he does, Buzzwole is a really good check to this Pokemon. We live a Psychic from this range. Earthquakes me, and I do believe that he does not have Psychic since we saw Power Herb fly, so I'm going to roost in this thing's face free of charge. I'm going to switch out. Like I said, Volcanion is the sack piece at this point. Goodbye, Volcanion, as Scizor does go for the dual wing beat there, which was 0 downside. I'm going to get my dog in here. I'm going to get my Stealth Rocks up. I value Stealth Rocks a little bit at this point in the match because it puts Scizor only having 2 switch-ins left. I'm going to go to Coco every single time on this Slowbro. Slowbro does not scare me at all. I can roost in its face, which is really nice because I was a little bit low there anyway. In comes Orlando T, and you guys know this. I go Buzzwole. This is just a very balanced team that I brought. So I'm going to U-turn, and we know he's not Scarf. Go into Buzzwole, as he is just going to fire off a knockoff and knock off my Rocky Helmet, which is a good play by him. I do believe I just fire off the Ice Punch, because if Scizor comes in, so be it. If Tentacruel comes in, I have a guaranteed switch into Starmie, but actually Cinderace comes in, so it's going to take a little bit of chip here. Puts me in a little bit of a sticky situation. I go hard Garchomp. As we see the Court Change come out, which is fine by me. I'm just going to get my Rocks back up. In my opinion, Rocks hurt him more than they do me at this point in the match. I go Starmie on the Slowbro as the Ice Beam comes out because I feel like I can just get a free Recover or Rapid Spin off, whatever I'm feeling, and I go for the Recover, try to keep Starmie healthy. As I am scared of Grimmsnarl Sucker Punch, so I'm going to hard switch here into Tapu Koko, but we're not going to see the Sucker Punch come out. We're going to see just a Spirit Break come out, which is not good for Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko can live a Stealth Rock from this range, though, so I do believe I U-turn. Yep, I U-turn out into the Buzzwole. Buzzwole is not super necessary at this point in the match. Going to sack Buzzwole off, obviously. So obviously, Buzzwole is here for Landorus, but with Landorus coming in on Rocks one more time, and the range it's at anyway is actually in range of a D-Gleam with just, I think, a little bit more chip, or it might even be in range of a D-Gleam, as well as it's in range of a Surf from the Alolan Raichu because we're Expert Bell. So I feel very comfortable sacking my Buzzwole at this point in the match. This Pokemon doesn't do anything. I even get a free Leech Life off and get a ton of damage into this Grimmsnarl, which is fantastic. And this allows me to go into Alolan Raichu now and start putting on some offensive pressure. But again, I want to scout for the Sucker Punch, make sure he's not banded or anything, as we catch a double actually into the Tentacruel. And so looking back, if I can pause it, that wasn't a great play. I should have just went into Garchomp in the first place because we knew we outsped and I didn't get T-waved and all that stuff, but I really wanted to scout Sucker. I don't know if he was banded or not still at this point. So that was a bad play, objectively bad play. I should have went Garchomp first every single time and just clicked Earthquake. But I was a little scared of letting the Landorus in, but so be it. In comes Starmie on the Tentacruel. You guys know how it is. I'm going to Rapid Spin, get these rocks away, get these hazards away as he is going to knock off there. I'm going to Rapid Spin into Recover. I got to keep this Pokemon healthy so I don't die to a knockoff from Tentacruel, because that would be very, very anticlimactic there. Something that we don't want. He's going to Rapid Spin the rocks away on his side of the field as well. That's fine. They've done what they needed to do at this point. He's going to throw off a Scald, Bait to Burn. I'm going to Rapid Spin again so I outspeed it, and then I believe I recover the following turn. Right? Yeah, I recover the following turn expecting him to switch out. He doesn't, so I'm just this turn going to go for a Psychic, since I see that he's kind of willing to just leave this Pokemon in, so I get very big chip on that Pokemon. He's going to Scald again, try to Bait the Burn, to no avail. No Scald burns here, as I'm going to just Psychic since he's staying in and try to get rid of this Pokemon, which is very annoying for me. So goodbye that Pokemon. Out comes Grimmsnarl, and it actually goes for the rest. So I was fine with giving up Starmie because Starmie did not serve the biggest purpose left in this game. Yes, it was pretty good for living a hit from the Cinderace, assuming no Sucker Punch, but Starmie was not necessary because I could still win with the Raichu Tapu Koko combination in the back. So I'm just going to go for the Surf here, and Garchomp, of course. I'm going to go for the Surf here, try to break this Grimmsnarl down. Goes for the Sleep Talk, gets the Spirit Break, gets a special attack drop, which actually allows him to live this hit. Again, I'm not really too worried about Starmie living, so I'm going to go for a Surf here again, as he does get a bad Rest Talk roll there, which is fine. So down goes the Grimmsnarl, in comes the Scizor. I'm just going to let this Starmie go down, and then I do believe I go into my dog. I go into my dog here. I'm going to fire off Rocks? Earthquake. I'm going to fire off an Earthquake. Now, this was kind of a tricky situation, because if he Mega'd, I died to an Ice Beam. If he didn't Mega, which I thought he wouldn't to keep the Regenerator, then I didn't die to an Ice Beam. I got a Swords Dance off, and then I did like 50 with the Earthquake the following turn. So I actually went for a Swords Dance here, which was not the best play, but I also always won with Tapu Koko plus Raichu in the back. He also got a crit, which might have mattered. It might have been a roll. I don't know. But I always won with Tapu Koko plus Raichu in the back. I'm going to just Thunderbolt here. Thunderbolt's my best play. Even if he goes Landorus, then I let Tapu Koko die, and I still win with Raichu in the back. So he's going to Bullet Punch there. Down goes that Pokemon. Raichu should win this game in the back as long as Cinderace does not have Sucker Punch, which I don't think it should. I serve the Scizor, I should kill it. Him going Landos first tells me that he does not have Sucker Punch on the Cinderace and I have nothing to worry about. We kill the Lando and then in comes the Cinderace and we're going to kill the Cinderace with Rising Voltage. Alolan Raichu putting in work in his first game that we have brought it, and that is going to be our APA Week 4. Let me know what you guys thought of this game down below. I will try to bring you guys Week 5 next week. We are currently in Week 10 as far as I'm aware. So we are 4-0, which is fantastic, keeping the undefeated season alive. Thank you guys so much for watching. And for now, guys, this has been John Jr. signing off.